Welcome back to Stab the Dragon Productions for episode number 261. What we might call this episode is another whiskey holiday, but it's not exactly whiskey. World Aquavit Day is actually what today is. Coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas on Monday, April 13th, 2026, where it is currently 80 degrees. And tonight, I'll be drinking Linie Aquavit from Norway. What is World Aquavit Day? Well, today is actually the first ever World Aquavit Day, as far as we know. Just started, honoring the Scandinavian spirit that dates back to at least the 16th century, probably earlier. April 13th was chosen to commemorate the first documented reference to aquavit, found in a letter from 1531. This letter from the Danish lord of Byggenhus fortress, Eskibil, to Olav Engelbrektsson, the last Roman Catholic Archbishop of Norway. And it contains the earliest known reference to aquavit. So what is aquavit? It's a Scandinavian liquor made from the distillate of either potatoes or grain, and this one is made of potatoes. And by law, the dominant flavoring must be from caraway seed and dill, star anise, or anise, cardamom, cumin, fennel, coriander, clove, citrus peel, and guinea pepper may also be included. But it's the caraway and dill that is the dominant flavor here. So picture gin. What's the dominant flavor? Juniper. So the difference between this and gin is no juniper. There you go. Now just the facts. This 750 milliliter bottle of Linie Aquavit is 83 proof and cost about $30 at Specs in Fort Worth. Tasting notes. Again, I get the caraway on rye bread. There you go. Licorice. Pine needles. Definitely you have an evergreen flavor going on here. Slightly sweet. This is very interesting and herbaceous. It's different, but good. Score, I gave this an 87 and a letter grade for drinkability an A-. Recommendation. This drink is not going to be for everyone. But if you like gin and rye whiskey, licorice, caraway on rye bread, this drink might be for you. If you have some Nordic blood in your veins, or at least wish you did, then give this drink a try. I like it neat, but it's also really good in a cocktail based on ginger beer or ginger ale. This aquavit will now be a permanent part of my liquor cabinet. A little bit of history here. In 1805, the Norwegian trade family Linie, and that name is predominant here on the bottle. You can see it right there, but it's on here. It's on the bottle. It's on the label. It's yeah. So they wear that name proudly. But in 1805, the Norwegian trade family Linie sent a shipment of potato-based aquavit to India, where it did not sell so well. So it was shipped back. But upon returning home to Oslo, Norway, the months at sea had significantly improved the liquor. And from that time on, the sea journey became the plan for aging this brand of aquavit. The company that makes this is Leuten Brinderi. And I don't speak Scandinavian, I don't speak Norwegian, whatever, so I'm butchering all the names. And this company began back in 1855. Outside of Norway, Linie is the best well-known aquavit, so they say. Produced and bottled by Arcus, Norway, imported by Sazerac. For history, 5 out of 5 points. Bottle label and marketing. The bottle is round with straight sides, but it's got a base that protrudes out a little bit, making it pretty stable. It's got short rounded shoulders with a flared neck and a metal twist-off cap. And again, there is a lot of embossing on this bottle. You get the name Linie Aquavit on both sides, but around the top here, it talks about, it's got a little sailing ship there, just like the main label has there. And it talks about around the world and twice across the equator. Okay, casks. It's hard to read that. But anyway, they're proud of it going around the world. And on the back side, you can see they have a map of the route that the ship takes. So this is, Jefferson's Ocean is not the only one who ages their drinks on the ocean, apparently. So there you go. Very nice looking label. I think it looks classy, a little bit antique looking. You've got black with gold trim, some white letters, a little bit of red there, ship on the ocean with blue sky and clouds. Now the gold fringe that you see there, you have to get a magnifying glass, but there's some kind of coins. They might be representing the gold medals that this has won through the years. I'm not sure. And then there's this little wreath of flowers here on the sides. On the back, you got a hoo-ha statement that's really quite good, and then you got that map. So, all in all, I think the bottle label and marketing is pretty good. All you got to do is put a ship and a map on a bottle, and you've got me hooked, I think. So, 5 out of 5 for bottle label and marketing. But I've not seen any advertisements for this. They do have a nice website that I've been to, and there's just a couple of reviews of this online, but I didn't hear about this particular brand until I'd heard about World Aquavit Day. And so then I go to the websites of Goody Goody and Specs and Total Wine and start looking for Aquavit. And I found this at Goody Goody and Specs both. Appearance of this whiskey, you can see that it's very light. The bottle does say that it has some caramel coloring. And yet, when you go to the website, they talk about, here it is in the glass, they talk about how, they age this in ex-sherry casks. And so they're saying it gets its color from those sherry casks. But I see no red tinge at all. I mean, this is really a 2 out of 5. It's a very light color. My wife prefers the lighter colored whiskeys. I prefer the dark. 2 out of 5 for appearance. And composition, again, this is a potato-based. Although you can make aquavit out of grain, but this is a potato-based distillate. And it uses Scandinavian herbs and spices like caraway and star anise. And again, it's aged in sherry cask for 16 months, 4 of which is at sea on the ship that crosses the equator twice. So the temperature, the humidity, the rocking action of the boat on the water, all of that really does help this, I'm sure. So for composition, 14 out of 15. Nosing. All right, let's get to this. I'm going to call it a whiskey, even though it's not technically a whiskey. It's more like gin or vodka. Okay, on the nose, this is definitely spicy and pungent right away. And this is a strong nose, very strong. It's a combination of pine needles and licorice with other spices. So like caraway, rye bread maybe. So yeah, it's a very strong, noticeable nose. And now, is this a good nose or a bad nose? This is an unusual nose, okay? The spice, you're not going to be used to smelling something like this. But imagine licorice mixed with rye whiskey maybe, or something like that. Yeah, I said gin a while ago, but there's no juniper in here at all. But I do get heavy pine needle presence. So 9 out of 10 for the nose. It's pleasant, but it's unusual. Taste. This is wild. It's only mildly sweet. Mainly, this is true to the nose. This is very spicy. Again, you get the pine needles, the licorice, the caraway, rye bread, all those spices combined together on the taste. So it's interesting. I'm going to classify it as good, but very different. I once had a seafood stew at a local restaurant here in Fort Worth that had this kind of a flavor to it. And I didn't ask what the seasoning was in that stew, but it was so much like this. So I'm going to say star anise and maybe some cardamom might be in here. The caraway is here for sure. So that's what this is. It's a very spicy herbal drink. Now this is intense. It's tasty in a unique way, and it's intense. I can't see sitting down and sipping this for a session. You know, a couple of glasses, 3 glasses. No way. This is what I've read is that in Scandinavia, Aquavit comes out during the holidays for special occasions. Okay, and so this is not going to be a daily drinker, and this is not going to be a session drink. This is, you know, one and done, pretty much. Now, 21 out of 25 for taste. Mouthfeel, burn, and finish. This is not thin, even though it's only 83 proof. It's not thin. There's not really a burn, but a lot of good mouth tingles. Okay, so this is a very low level burn to the point where I'm calling it mouth tingles. It does not go up in the sinuses or down the throat into the chest. Focus is here on the mouth. This has a very long finish. These flavors will linger for several minutes. When I opened this and sampled it, it's like, wow. I mean, this keeps on going. So this is really one of the longest finishes of anything I've ever had. And it's an interesting finish. You get the full spice load the whole time. I mean, what you get on the nose, what you get on the first drink, and what you get on the finish, it's all the same. So mouthfeel, burn, and finish, 13 of 15. Versatility and flexibility. All right, neat. This is a fascinating drink. Very interesting. It has enough flavor, I think, to survive under ice. The website does recommend a few cocktails. So I tried a Linie ginger, is what they call it, with Gosling's ginger beer and a key lime. And that became an instant favorite. And my wife liked it as well. It was very refreshing. So in some ways, it was kind of like a gin and tonic almost, except you had the sweetness of the ginger beer. That was a very good drink, and that would be worth your while on a hot summer's afternoon for sure. So for versatility and flexibility, I'm not going to make another cocktail now because I got started late tonight due to work, and so really it's too late for me to do a cocktail. But I did one yesterday, and that Linie ginger, and it was really quite good. So 5 out of 5 for versatility and flexibility. Price, value, and availability. This was listed at Specs in Fort Worth, and I went there and I got the last bottle for about $29. Now I go back to their website and it's not even listed. So I don't know if they stopped carrying it or if it's just not listed because I got the last bottle and they'll have to reorder it. I'm not sure what's going on there. So, but Specs for about $29. And I checked the other Specs on my side of town and they didn't have it listed either. So I don't know. Total Wine did not list it. Goody Goody has it for $27.59. And they had noted that they had like 3 or 4 bottles. So It is somewhat available, but not hugely available. The price is good. The value's there. I'm going to say 8 out of 10 for price, value, and availability. Availability is the only problem there. All right, bonus. Again, I have just recently heard of this. And so I started researching it, and now I can say that I really do think this bottle is going to be a regular on my shelf. I love celebrating my family history, studying the history of America, the history of Western civilization, and this drink with this holiday appeared at just the right time. So I think the history behind the brand, the cool label, the flavor, the World Aquavit Day, all of this plays together uh, with a very unusual and interesting drink. So 5 out of 5 for bonus points. This gives me a total score of 87, a letter grade for drinkability, and A-. My analysis and recommendation. This drink is not going to be for everyone. But if you like gin and rye whiskey, licorice, caraway seed on rye bread or in stews, then this drink might be for you. If you've got some Nordic blood in your veins, or at least you wish you did, then give this drink a try. And next year, hey, there's going to be an Aquavit Day next year too. We can all be Scandinavian on Aquavit Day. Why not? Is this ever going to be an everyday sipper for me? Absolutely not. For special occasions, yes. During the long summer of Texas in a cocktail, yeah, absolutely. Now, another cocktail that I have not tried, but the website at Linie recommended, was a Bloody Mary using Aquavit. Well, I think I see that in my future. So, World Aquavit Day is now a permanent part of my calendar and my heritage. All right, well, that does it for Stab the Dragon Productions today and World Aquavit Day. Coming up next, I might have a couple of more Irish whiskeys to deal with, but I'm also headed out of town for a little bit, so it may be a while before I come back. So we'll see you then out here.